And welcome back to another episode and a brand new season of Rebuilding Bolton. We're 7 years into this save now, and I hope you guys are still enjoying it, so drop a like if you are. Helps out with YouTube algorithm nonsense. But last year was a very up and down season. A positive start, an absolutely horrendous trailing off, followed by an incredible renaissance, and then another poor spell, and finishing off fairly okay. And at the end of the day, I think it really is just a case of balance with this tactic. It is a bit strange, as I've pointed out so many times in this save. We're going to have ups and downs with it, and I think it's going to require more tweaks to get it working than perhaps a more stable approach to play. We're going to have to be constantly adapting our ideas, but I think this is going to enable us to eventually end up with like 3 different versions of it for different variations of opponents depending on what we're expected to do. And I actually quite like the fact that we might genuinely be forced by the game to play different approaches, and that's nice. I actually like that because it's more realistic, quite frankly. But what I've really tried to focus on over the course of this summer in some of the big spending, including breaking the club's transfer record, as far as I can tell anyway, I'm fairly certain it is just trying to strengthen us in key areas. I have still focused on young players, but that wasn't really my ideal. Like when I was doing my searches, I wasn't specifically filtering it for like under 21s this time. I think I set it at like 28 and under, and it just so happened that a lot of the players that I was looking at that were price ranges, wanted to come to us, wages, etc., tended to be younger anyway, which is actually totally fine. But one thing I have done in this summer is I've actually brought in a few English players from other clubs. Now, I always get comments on these saves about why don't you sign more English players? You're about to find out why I don't really, and it quite simply is because they are prohibitively expensive. They are 5, 6, 7 times more expensive than a player from a different country of almost identical attributes, and it just ain't worth it a lot of the time. But this time I thought it was, because there was a couple of players that definitely floated my boat. Out of interest, the budget was originally £50 million, which was very, very good indeed. 750k wage budget, but obviously that's the total wage budget, not the additional wage budget. However, when I got a chance to assess the expectations of the board, they gave me the choice of a battle against relegation or avoid relegation, and I strongly believe that we're going to be strong enough this season to avoid relegation, so they gave me like an extra like £12 million for saying that. So I'm happy with that, and we've still got some money left. Window isn't shut. I'm still looking at centre-backs because sadly we did miss out on Juninho. I say did miss out. He hasn't actually left to go anywhere yet. He just won't talk to us, sadly. It's how it is. But that's weirdly one of the positions I thought we'd actually be strongest to find players for this summer, and I've yet to manage to find anyone that really suits what I want to do. But we've still got time in the window. That's my main focus. Everywhere else in the team, though, I genuinely believe we've strengthened. So that's the key. First things first, though, Niall John, gone. No loan spell for him. Low Everton, gone. No loan spell for him. Both of those two, gone. Honestly, that game against Everton made me want to remove them from the club, and the beautiful thing about loans is you get to do that. So first things first, Kang Dong Hee is back for a second season. I felt like it was a worthwhile deal for us just to bring him back for another year. He's a solid option in the middle. I liked a few of the things he did last year, and I think in a more stable environment, he could definitely get something out of him. So he's back on loan. Most of you already know as well. Juan Tandela is also back on loan for the season. Now, I made a decision to bring him back in long before, as I wasn't expecting to be able to find someone for that role, and I think I might well have actually found someone, but it's good to have 2 players there, and we were going to have to sign someone anyway. And lastly, of course, is Wendy Lacazette-Roche, back for a 3rd season at the club. Some of this stuff is going to be a little bit messed up, and I'll have to reset this, because obviously with the Streamer Showdown, a lot of the skins were changed, and cache is reset, so it's removed a lot of my saved settings, which is a pain in the arse, but it's just how it goes. So yeah, Lacazette-Roche back for another season. Weirdly though, Chelsea let us extend the loan without paying any money. We're not their affiliate club anymore, and yet they've let us have him for free for yet another season. So Lacazette-Roche is back. I'm really expecting big things from him this year. I've messed around with our corner taxes a little bit, and I noticed that we were playing into those corners to the near post, but we were aiming the ball at De Pestra, who's 6 foot tall, when we should have been aiming at Wendy Lacazette-Roche, who's 6'4" with incredible jumping reach. So I really do believe that was part of the reason we suffered from set pieces this season, and that's completely on me. So those are the loan signings that have come in that you already knew about. Let's focus on some outs now. And when it came down to it, there was actually only one out, and that was Kun Temenushkov. It's a sad time when Temenushkov left the club. I would have liked to have got more money from him, but you'll understand why it felt like the right move to move him on at this point when you understand one of the other signings I've made. So he has moved to Lens. It's only £3.8 million was the deal in the end. I mean, of course, it's still money. Don't get me wrong. And he was on £20,000 a week. So we shifted 3.8 million in budget, but also the 20k in wage budget, which we were able to allocate elsewhere, because I just didn't think with some of the moves I'd made elsewhere that he was exactly what we needed this year. He has been a great servant for us. 85 goals and 139 games for Bolton is terrific work from the lad, and he's always going to be a bit of a legend of the save in my eyes, but I just didn't think he was going to get anywhere near the game time that he deserved this season because of some other moves elsewhere. So Temenushkov, we say goodbye to you, sir, but you've been a terrific servant to Bolton Wanderers. Right, now into the ins. This is where things start to get a little bit tasty. First of whom, I actually showed you this guy before. I think it's Victor Conroy. He was signed last season, but he hasn't joined us until now. He's joined us for 2.5 million from Independiente Santa Fe. 18. I mean, you could see, like, there's some physical attributes that definitely needs to be worked on, but other than that, I think he's a really nice little player in that midfield. Only 18 years old. He is a very good player. It's weird that he wanted to be a star player. That's the one thing about him that I was a little bit unsure of, and that might come back to bite us, but nevertheless, he's 2.5 stars. Now, obviously, with losing some of our players in that role due to the loan spells ending, we definitely needed to bring in some people, but honestly, we made a couple of moves right towards the start of the window, and I was totally fine with that. Bringing back Kang, we already have Kroken, now we have Victor Conroy as well, and he will be joined by Nikola Ilic. This was the guy from Red Star I told you guys about last season, that we weren't able to sign up at that exact time because of some other stuff that was going on and he'd signed a new contract. However, I didn't go back in January because we had other things to focus on, basically, but I went back in the summer and we've got him, Nikola Ilic. It wouldn't be one of my saves without a terrific Serbian player. Excellent first touch, great passing, incredible teamwork, decisions, determination. His off the ball is the one thing that's like a little bit but you'll see that he's working on that at the moment. Great balance as well, 5'10", loves a 1-2 as well, which is kind of nice. I think Nikola Ilic could really give us some extra stuff in that area of the pitch. Even has 12 long shots, which is an interesting one when you look at his potential to be a Met Salah for us as well. He ticks a lot of the boxes to play in either of our central midfield roles, and that's really, really nice. He only lacks a little tiny bit of tackling, but honestly, and for £6.5 million, I was extremely happy to bring someone like this in, because I think he could slot straight into that midfield and do an excellent job for us this year. I really do think we've made some excellent signings in the central midfield, to the point that we've now negated the need for all those loan signings, other than Kang. So we've now got to choose out of Kroken, Ilic, Conroy, Kang as well in there as... It's looking good for us in that area of the pitch, is what I will say. And next is on to the reason why Kun Temenushkov left the club. This is Vezilyn Ivanov, a Bulgarian international striker. We've literally traded we've basically traded Temenushkov for a better version of Temenushkov, quite simply. Ludogorets are producing some ludicrous talent on FM in general this year. I think I've signed like 2 players from them on Tromsø, as well as now with Bolton. When I saw this guy come up, I was extremely happy. I think part of the knowledge that we had a bit more knowledge about this guy than I normally do about clubs in this area, and I think it is because of the Bulgarian connection with Temenushkov and the international scouting reports when he plays his international games. But regardless, this guy is ridiculous. He's performing really nicely so far with his training stuff. He's faster than Temenushkov. He's taller than Temenushkov. Dribbling of 14, finishing of 15, first touch is solid, composure 14, great passing, good teamwork. I think Vezilyn Ivanov could genuinely give Kim a real run for his money this year to be the starting striker at the club. And for £3.8 million, 2.3 up front, rising to 3.8, he literally cost us the same as what we sold Temenushkov for. So I felt like it was quite the upgrade to bring in a player like Vezilyn Ivanov. So he is now here as well, wearing the number 11 shirt, and this is what makes me like him even more. That's right, he can play on the wing too, and he has decent crossing and dribbling to the point where he could actually play up front or out wide, which means we could use this guy basically anywhere we like. I mean, technically, we could even dump him here, and he could play in behind. This is the beautiful thing about this guy. He covers 3 roles in our tactic, and is pretty competent in every single one of them. And that makes me extremely excited to what Vezilyn Ivanov could do in this team this year. He might be my favourite signing of the summer. Next up is a rather interesting one. This is Flavio Colombo. I mean, firstly, his name's Flavio Colombo. How can you not like him? And secondly, he was basically free. Not even joking here. So I've been looking at this guy for a few months, really, from Nacional, but I got one of those notifications that said players on your shortlist have contracts expiring soon, and it wasn't able to trigger it at the first part, but then I triggered it in the summer, and we were able to get him on a good deal. Now, he is on a fair amount of wages, but that comes with the free transfer. So he would have originally joined us in January, but I paid the £700,000 to get him in now because I felt like we needed a little bit more backup to Johan, particularly as he picked up a knock in pre-season that would see him miss the start of the year. So we needed to make sure someone could occupy that role, and that man is Flavio Colombo, and his name is Flavio Colombo. Now, I actually was on the fence about him because there was another guy at Red Star called Novakovic, who is like Colombo but better, and he was also 2 years younger. However, it would have been a transfer fee, but it wasn't that much. It was like £12 million, and believe me, I'll show you him now, actually. No, tell a lie, he was actually the same age. This was the guy. Now, you can see he chose Real Madrid instead of us, so I can completely understand how that happened. How much did they pay for him in the end? Oh, sorry, no, £3.6 million. Yeah, so you could see that this was who I actually wanted in that role, but when he turned us down, we already had the Colombo deal ready to go, so I was just like, we'll pull the trigger on that instead. So we missed out on Novakovic, but the fact is, Colombo is not that much worse when you do a direct comparison. He is lacking some areas, but at the end of the day, this guy went to Real Madrid. And now the biggest signing of the summer. This is Manny Farmer, a 19-year-old Englishman from Wolves who we've signed him from. Now, I've been looking at this guy for a while, and then when Wolves got relegated, I thought, oh, now's our chance. And this is why I don't sign English players, unless I can get some incredible deal, which we did not on this. Let this be very sure. This deal was £31 million up front, followed by another £20 million in instalments. So it would, in total, it's £51 million. This was so strange. And this is one of the things that annoys me about AI transfer negotiations, in the sense that Wolves were relegated. I put a little bit in just to tease things out, and they wanted £61 million. So I knew, roughly, because I'd set it at $5 million, that they wanted about 35, 36 million would be what it would take to trigger it. I then did the usual stuff where you unsettle them. I got the news articles coming through saying that he wants to leave, usually. So I figured, okay, sometimes you can, no release clause, so sometimes you can get him a bit cheaper if you do that. Somehow, they were able to just continually ignore all my bids, and eventually, I ended up having to pay £51 million for the guy. I don't know how they were in that kind of leveraging position, considering they'd just been relegated, but that's how it goes, isn't it, apparently? So Manny Farmer does join us because I desperately wanted someone to replace Regan Booty on that left-hand side, and I feel like he's basically the guy, quite frankly. He kind of ticks all the boxes for what I want. Now, his marking is a little bit sus still, but he's only 19. He could do with a little bit more pace, but he does have good acceleration, which could be very, very useful. Just solid across the board. Great work rate, great teamwork, solid vision. Decent tackling, great technique as well. I genuinely think he could be the future of that position. Given a bit of time, he's still got lots of room to improve, and he is still only 19. So Manny Farmer, remember the name. And lastly, we have a right... Well, this is a very strange one. So firstly, he can play through the middle, but the finishing isn't spectacular here. I mainly bought him as an inverted wingback. This is Luca Brace. He's coming from Reading for 4.5 million up front, rising, I think, to 7 or 8 in the end, which I still think is too much, frankly. But nevertheless, I was happy to do this deal because other than his marking, and that really is a massive letdown, I agree, but it's so hard to find people that suit that role perfectly. And right now, that's the best we could do. But he does have good passing. His tackling's fine. He's just sort of okay in that role. And he was literally the best I could do. Does have excellent physicals and a decent set of mentals considering he's only 20. But that really was the best that was available for us at the time. So having Luca Brace, having Candela, makes a lot of sense. Now, you'll notice a lot of players have left on freeze this summer. Henry Lawrence is no longer at the club. There's a few others as well in that same bracket that I just didn't feel it was worth extending their contracts because they wanted so much money, and I don't think they were going to play a part for us. So that basically concludes our transfer dealings for this period. I'm going to have more probably in the next video, let's face it, because we do still have some money left. But today, we begin against Sheffield United. Newly promoted teams. So, who have we got? Derby County, definitely one of them. Bristol City, and I think Crystal Palace are the other one. So plans for the season overall are less about position in the table. I really just want to be better in terms of our points tally this year. I want to score more, concede less, and finish with higher points. We want to be aiming really this year for 50 points plus if we want to actually make a step in the right direction, really, because we got 46 last year. That's where we need to be making moves to improve. Who will start today is the biggest question. So we've got obviously Kang that can play there, O can play there. Ivanov out wide is not really within what I want to do right now. But Illich and Colombo in the midfield, yeah, no. But the thing is, he actually can play there. That's the nuts thing. You could put him through the middle and he could do a job. Look at this. That is the great thing about him. He's even got good tackling, or ish. Oh, I did extend the contract for Mayo because I felt like we needed him, particularly when we couldn't get Juninho. And I just think there is a genuine... We just look stronger in general this season. There's better players in this team. Kim is obviously still here. Kang, we can replace with O. I'm really not sure which one of those two to put. I might just put O through the middle today, actually, since that is his technical role. I'm actually quite excited about this game, genuinely. Particularly, I think our bench as well has strengthened dramatically this season. In fact, like, I'd argue that we've undoubtedly strengthened. Now, you might notice there's some weird glitches with the ad boards. That's because obviously I've had to replace stuff for Showdown, so do try to excuse the fact that those are looking a little bit strange at the moment. I should be able to fix all that back after that stuff is all completed. I'm recording this on the Sunday before Showdown tonight. Well, it has literally been half an hour and there's been no shots on target for either team. And this is what I mean about how I feel like we might actually be able to start being a bit more expansive with some of our play and going back to more working it out from defence and getting those balls slightly more intricate now. What a hit. Oh, that is so frustrating. Straight back into his path there, and Matt West pops it into the back of the net for 1-0 Sheffield United. I don't know what Colombo's doing there. That is very, very poor from him. But I thought, once this shot goes in and it's missed, it just comes straight back to West. Oh, God, the luck of that. Wow, there we go. Just as a side note, we've committed 3 fouls today. Every single foul we've committed has been punished with a yellow card. That's what a first half. 1 shot on target, it's a goal. Oh, wow. Hi, guys, if you could wake up, that'd be terrific. Made a couple of changes. It's actually not a lot in terms of substitutions, but it is just moving some people around a little bit. Moving Colombo out to the right-hand side, pushing Ivanov through the middle, and then bringing Kang on slightly deeper just to shuffle the pack around a little bit. Because at the moment, we just don't look particularly we look pretty lifeless as it goes. It's really, really bad from us so far, but hopefully there's more to come from us in this game. We'll have to see. I think the players might take time to bed in. Just need to see something from us in this second period, frankly. Just anything. Lacazette Roche. Candela. Oh, nice ball through. Kang with a gorgeous run from midfield. It's going to get blocked, I'd say. Or you could... Oh, squares it. Well, oh, Manny Farmer puts it just wide, but that was a bit better from the lads. Over the top, and Tyra's in here. Very, very tight angle. Should be able, with like 7 players in the way, to make something happen here defensively, you'd feel like. Although it actually looks like we are going to just allow them all the way through. Okay, good. Breakaway now. Ivanov. Use that speed. Bring that ball forward for us, mate. Drops it for Kim. He's got to use that width out wide. Oh, he might just go through himself here, Kim. Oh, that is an awful effort, but at least we're showing stuff. I'm honestly not sure I could have expected a worse performance from us today, to be honest. Kang's ball through. Lacazette Roche just flicked over the... Oh my goodness, the luck on that. Well, okay, they got quite a lucky goal, and now so have we. Sheffield United 1, Bolton 1. This might be a very lucky point that we don't deserve should we get it, but at the end of the day, it looks like we might well do. I don't know who gets the assist for that. I think the goalkeeper drops this here. Or is it... I think Lacazette Roche actually rises above the defender as the goalie misses it, and Kim's able to pop it in the net. It's weird, though, because Kang's actually been credited with the assist, so it seems that the goalkeeper and the defender just missed it. Far from a good performance from us today. Let's make no mistake about that, shall we? It's not been great from us here. We look like we're going to grab ourselves a cheeky point here at Bramall Lane. It's not the way I would have wanted to start the season, and it does show to me that there's much work to be done in some of these matches, but we've managed to start off at least with a point. But you'd feel like winning away these sort of matches is the ones we need to do. Even Mohamed's had a really poor day today, which is annoying as it goes, but at least Wendy was good, and I suppose that's something. But we really struggled to control possession in this one. Kim thankfully gets us the goal that draws us this game. So, obviously next episode we're going to come back at home against Leeds United. First home game of the season. Very important to put down a solid performance there. Hopefully we'll have a couple more players in, maybe. Just depends on what I can rustle up at that point. So, I'm still confident about the season, however that was not the ideal start to the year. Then again, we beat Spurs on the first game of last season, so you just never really know at this point. So, if you've enjoyed this and you're looking forward to the season, drop a like on the video, that would be superb. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, that'd be awesome too. I stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, so go follow over there as well, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh my goodness, hopefully things get better from there. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Hold your guns, capybara. Bye-bye.